So good morning. And yeah, tell us a little bit about this relationship with this person that we're going to compose an email to.
Okay, so I'm wanting to reach out to a director when I did Groundhog Day, the musical.
Mhm.
And I'd also been workshopping with him and the team of Groundhog Day for the year prior to that. He's also the associate director, or artistic director of the Old Vic Theatre in London. And they are the ones in charge of putting the new Matilda musical on screen, um, which has been announced with Emma Thompson playing, Mrs. Trunchbull. I'm nervous. This is hilarious. I'm talking to you guys, and my heart's like
Oh,
boom,
it's
boom, boom.
it's so good for you, isn't it? Because then you see that you can work through it. Yeah, it's so good when you get nervous. I get nervous all the time still. I know. It's like I'm like, gee, I'm getting hot here. Oh, my heart's beating. Oh, you're starting to catch your breath. I do this. I'm like, look at that physicalness that's happening right now. Look at that. I'm like, you're doing this for so freaking long. It still happens.
Yeah.
So,
Never gets any easier. It just changes and mutates. Since 2016, when I did Groundhog Day musical, I've stayed loosely in touch with the team. I'll bump into them from time to time and through social media. But because they are now going to be shooting Matilda for screen, I wanted to use it as a way in to potentially get on set as a production runner or a PA to work on a larger set, and using him maybe as my way in. And because obviously he is the director, he's not the production coordinator or anybody, I wanted to approach him in a way that's friendly and personal enough that I know him, but also so I'm not assuming, if you like. Because everything I've been doing through through Friends in Film, I've been gaining experience, but I haven't done anything on a massive set yet. And I know it will be a big step, but I also feel like I'm fully prepared to be open and observant, and it's an
yeah,
opportunity that's arisen. So
yeah.
I should take a chance and see
Oh,
if I
of
can get in.
course. Of course. It's your duty. It's what we all must do. We're supposed to be making our careers. We're supposed to be reaching out. You have to. He did. This director that's directing Matilda that you're going to reach out to, his job is to reach out. So he reaches out. When you did Matilda, did you work behind this? You kind of said what you did, but did you act in it or did you work behind the scenes or how much interaction did you have with him?
I wasn't actually in Matilda, but it's the same team who did Matilda. So I did Groundhog Day,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and it was very much acting role. But I also understudied the leading lady. So he doesn't know me working on crew and sets, which is why in my initial letter I wanted to
Yeah.
say, 2020 has opened it up to me to try new things, and I've discovered that I absolutely love being on the other side of the camera just as much. And seeing as they're a creative team that I love working with in a musical point of view, I'd love to transfer that and help them on screen.
Yeah, and I think that you can just say it in a very well, let me ask before I say that. Um, and how much like interaction do you have with him? Like, how much do you know about him? How much joking do you have with him? I mean, does he, if you walk in a room, he's go, "Oh, hey, Carolyn," and give you a hug? I mean, how much, what's the relationship like?
We definitely smile and have an interaction, maybe a hug, but he's one of these kind of quiet, awkward, creative types. But for example, like when we weren't doing a show, I would chat to him in the bar, in the front of house bar. We've talked about how when he was 19, he purchased his first house in London and how he did it up. And he was telling me about how he sat in the middle of this house on his own going, what have I done, kind of thing. But now obviously it was the best decision he ever made. So I've had conversations not just about performing, and he's somebody also that I always felt a little bit awkward. Like I quite like chatting to people, but because he was quite quiet, I was always like, should I be talking to you, should I not? And so we've had a
Yeah.
couple of interactions that do open up into other conversations.
I don't think you really even need to give much explanation. We always don't want to make them work. We
Mm-hmm.
always just want to be like, if you want to have a casual conversation with them, which, you know, you'd love to have casual conversations like, hey, how are you doing? I hear that you've got a film coming up that you're directing. That's so awesome. Happy face, smile. Don't know if you knew this, but I am working as a production assistant now because I want to learn everything there is to know about film. I've been working on this, this, and this. And it can be small stuff. I was working on a local commercial. I've been working on this just to get them feel comfortable that you've been on set, you're actually doing it. You know, you're not, it's not like you're a totally theater actor and then, hey, I got a great idea. I would love to be a production assistant on this film that you have coming. I want to come in on your project and get involved in that. Instead, you're like, hey, I've been working on stuff already. And I know you have this film coming up and it would be awesome to work on that with you. And then like you did in the email, you said, is there any way that you could put me in touch with your production manager, your production supervisor? And maybe we can get this thing going. Happy face. You know, and then hope, you know, that's it. Thanks so much. Can't wait to hear from you and your name and your signature, which is awesome.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds all right. But obviously with the email I sent you, I was trying to keep it friendly. There was a little joke in about working with revolting children. If anybody knows Matilda, it's a song from it. There's you mentioned about timing because of obviously the pandemic. It's been put off and put off and put off, and we don't necessarily know the shoot date as such. Originally, you know, it was supposed to happen last year. Now potentially it's February, which is now. I know they're still workshopping choreography and stuff, so I don't know if they've got set dates because he's the director rather than the production manager or supervisor. You said yourself, if I contact him too soon, he may not have the team in place yet because they just don't know what's happening. That I suppose worries me a little bit. So I want to word it in a way that leaves it open for me to reach out to him again and just go, have you got any updates?
Well, that's why when you reach out casually, then it's always open because you're just checking in with a friend. You can always email again. So you can say, don't know if you guys know your shoot dates yet. Or do you know your shoot dates yet? Ask them a question. Do you know when you might start shooting?
Yeah.
And then it's good to ask questions because then they'll email you back because, oh, okay, yeah, I can tell her that. And then he'll respond. Otherwise, a lot of times when you don't ask any questions, then they're like, okay, sounds good. All right, yeah, I'll do that. And then they move on to the next thing, you know, thinking that they're going to get back to you, but then they completely forget, especially somebody as busy as this guy. Yeah, so I would definitely ask that question so that everybody here knows. Carolyn's like, I want to reach out to him right away. This was last week. And I asked her if she could hold off until today so that we could actually discuss this and everybody could learn. Which
scared to miss the boat.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're all like, oh man, I don't want this thing opportunity going. I won't be too late. But if it's a feature film that they don't know what the shoot days are, there's some time. And what I was saying to Carolyn is that the people that come on board and start working on this, they're not gonna, you want to catch them when they're actually getting paid, because when everybody's sitting at home not getting paid, they really don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, you know, the director is not going to email the production supervisor and say, here's this great gal that I work with, can you put her on our list for PAs? He's not going to do that when she's not even working or he's not even working yet, you know. So he's going to be like, oh yeah, I'll have to wait to, you know, get the name over to the person. But then when the time comes, then he's so busy, he's going to forget. So the timing's kind of important here. So that's why we just want to ask, what are the shoot dates so that she can follow up with him and hit it around that time. How much prep? How many weeks prep? Probably at least 3 weeks prep, maybe a month prep before this movie starts.